Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to another episode of Martial Art Talk or MA Talk, and I'm here with my buddies Steven Reich.
Hello.
And today we have a special guest, Sigung Jose Ortega. And we've had him on a show here before. You're gonna have to scroll down. We're talking about Muay Thai, and he brought his student at that time, which was Victor Saravia. And I actually been watching some of his videos, man. This guy's turning into an animal,
He's
like a
amazing. Yeah.
monster. He's like a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's actually my teammate from Muay Thai America, and
yeah,
I still train with him here and there. But he has a fight coming up for Lion Fight to defend his title pretty soon. So keep an eye out for him, Victor Saravia.
yeah. I do. I'm always trying to follow when I can, and I know that he's from Central America. He's a Guatemalan, right? So
Japan.
it's
Yeah.
like you're gonna get the first Guatemalan Muay Thai champion.
Yeah.
So that's actually a good thing. Yeah, good thing happening. Well, anyway, today we're going to be talking about martial art uniforms, and I know that if you're watching this show, you're practicing martial art. You're probably every time you show up to your dojo or your gym, you have to be wearing something that it's either a requirement from the federation that you're in, or your teacher tells you to wear something, right? Jose, I know you in your class you wear uniforms.
Mhm.
Has anything changed? Like, for example, I know we're all going through this quarantine COVID stuff, and they open the gyms, they shut them down. Now you have to be teaching outside. Tell me your experience of teaching martial arts with what's happening today.
Well, it's definitely been a challenge during this time, with the lockdowns and all this the COVID going on. So I still try to make it comfortable for the kids. Some days they wear just their shirt and their shorts, to be more relaxed. But they have a uniform shirt like I'm wearing right now, our club shirt. And one day out of the week, we'll wear the uniform, so to keep it traditional. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
So most of the stuff that you practice, the traditional, you have forms. What other stuff do you practice within your art? Can you just tell us about the traditional art that you guys
Sure.
practice?
I practice martial art called Kajukenbo. It's a martial art from Hawaii. It's mixed, so it has many influences. It has Korean karate in it. It has judo, jujitsu, kempo, which is our base in the system. That's where our self-defense techniques have a lot of kempo in it, and then of course chanfa, kung fu, and boxing. So Western boxing as well. Um, so that's the art that we practice. And when I say traditional, I mean it has some forms in it. It has basic blocks, the karate blocks that you find, basic snap kicks. But then we switch it up. So we'll switch it up to boxing combination. We'll switch it up to takedowns. We'll switch it up to some locks, some joint lock manipulation. And then I also do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so I throw some of that in there. So they all get just a different mix. So they're kind of well-rounded in different areas as well. And that's the whole philosophy behind Kajukenbo, is to go where the fight goes. If it goes on the ground, you better be prepared. You don't want to stay there, but in case you do, you better know how to at least get out of a chokehold or something on the ground, a takedown. And if you're striking, you better have good striking, good kickboxing, good boxing to go along with whoever you're fighting.
Yeah, and I see a lot of martial art teachers, a lot of schools that are implementing a lot of the things, because if you've noticed, every time you're watching MMA fights, or you're watching, all these street fights happening, or anything that's going on. And I think that a lot of martial art teachers and schools that are not adapting, they're staying behind.
Yeah.
And I'm actually happy and honored that you're actually teaching more than what's there traditionally, because I know that a lot of kids are going to get their not only their money's worth, but when they go out, they're actually going out and being prepared.
Well, that's the thing nowadays. Everybody's training, right? Everybody's training
Right.
MMA, so it's like you better know how to handle yourself in different situations. And yeah, the traditional aspect is good for discipline. For like, I make the kids do their katas for homework, to see if they really want to do it. And once they do it, then I'll show them some good techniques. So we'll hit the pads. They love to hit. They love to release that energy. But it also has to go hand in hand with the discipline of doing the techniques, the forms, and just also learning how to put in the hard work, even when you don't want to do something that's kind of boring. But guess what? Do it, and you'll see where it goes later.
Like, for example, let's talk about the beginnings of martial arts. I know that I would say the beginnings of martial arts came from China, right? A lot of people say that the meditation part and the chi energy came from India, right? But then you saw the monks; they were, generating all that energy, but they will fall asleep. So what did they do? They started, creating techniques and physical aspects within martial arts, so they're able to release energy and keep and actually build more energy in, and be able to keep your body in shape, right? And it gives you a longer longevity within your life, right? And I think that's where it started. So the Chinese, I read a little bit about them having silk. I mean, like if you look at the way they dress now, they're still wearing a lot of silk uniforms.
Yeah, they wear a traditional Chinese jacket. I believe it's called the Tong Shuang.
And it has the one like Bruce Lee?
Yeah, like it had the frog buttons, right? The frog button ones, and that's their like traditional jacket. But when the martial arts, I guess you could say from China to Japan. Before that, in Japan, Jigoro Kano, he invented like the first gi, the first judo gi, and it was made out of heavy cotton blend with canvas, and that was for the rough and tumble of his art, right? And it was during that 20th century later on that the founder of Shotokan Karate, he liked it and he adapted that same gi, but he made it lighter with the ties on the side, so it looked crisper, and it was lighter for their kicks and punches.
Right. So every uniform that you see gets adapted based on the culture, the weather, where you're at. You're not going to see Thai fighters wearing a karate gi. Why? Because it's you go to Thailand, it's hot, it's humid. It's like you don't want to be wearing anything. So it's like guys wearing the Thai shorts, and so you have to adapt. I mean, I remember when I was teaching. Do you remember that gym I used to teach up on the wait? I don't know if you showed up there, Jose. Well, I think maybe Steve did. On top of the auto shop. I was on top of an auto shop.
Oh, auto shop.
Yeah, a long time. So I was on top, and then I was renting this little room, and we were up there, and it was always hot. It's like there was really no insulation there, so it was hot. Okay?
Just a box.
A box, and I had mirrors. I had all my. I had everything that I needed. So the students had to walk on a spiral stairs to be able to get up onto the classroom. And I mean, I'm like thinking, dude, like we have the Hapkido gis, and they're a little bit thick, So I said, these kids are not going to be comfortable here. They're going to be getting.
Let's do the t-shirts.
Yeah. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to have t-shirts.
You have to adapt. You have to adapt.
So you're adapting to that. I mean, even the pants, I got them a little bit lighter, And then since we were also doing a little bit of groundwork, then I said, hey, you know what? I'm gonna get the judo pants because they have that extra padding on their knees.
Yes, they do.
So and then you have and so you start adapting exactly like you said. Right now with the pandemic, they're outside. They have to get a little bit comfortable and be able to wear those t-shirts and stuff, but you're adapting to it.
It's like Taekwondo uniforms are really light because of all the kicking. They're like pajamas.
Pajamas. Yeah, that's a good one.
And they're pretty lazy too. You were talking about they're pretty lazy. All you just do that.
It's like a shirt. It's just a shirt.
Yeah.
It's great. I love the simplicity. But you're right. T-shirts are. I loved working out in t-shirts.
Yeah. And I think, the other thing is, what do you guys think when a student shows up and then you start and you tell the parents or you tell them, hey, you know what, you're going to need this uniform. I think it has to do with commitment. I think when you get a student in and then they're going to get a uniform, it's commitment. And then you could decide, I think as a teacher, you could decide, you know what, I can make it a cheap uniform or economical, but I could also make it an expensive uniform. Right. And I think the price also has to do on the mindset, because if you try to get a student that wants to buy a $20 suit, I mean, that suit's not going to last that long. But then you get them a better quality suit, let's say a good price, but a better quality suit. You're looking at their commitment, and it also is going to last them through at least a couple years, you know, to be able to practice.
What we call the heavy duty gis, you know, those are the old school gis. And for me, I don't mind. I mean, I come from a different time, so to me, it was like, you're gonna suffer in this as part of the art, you know.
Right.
Nowadays, like you said, you have a different type of students. So you want to make them comfortable. You want them to enjoy the class. You want them to keep coming back, you know. So you're like, well, okay, I wear a t-shirt, the club shirt, and wear some shorts because it's hot today or whatever. But before, in my days, it was like, this is your uniform, like it or leave it, you know, and suffer with it no matter how hot it was.
It has to be practical.
Yeah.
Because you're going to work out in it. So, I mean, I remember having some really nice uniforms that I got like sweat stains and stuff. I ruined them because I had to work out in them. I mean, it was kind of a shame, but it's like, well, you want me to wear this, but it's not like we should have a separate uniform for training because I'm going to get all worked up and sweaty. And then I got to wear this really nice one, you know, but I was wearing the really nice one to train.
Well, that's where your commitment comes in. How committed are you? You're gonna be committed to have a practice one and one for your tournaments, right? Or something like that. So like in the military, they have the dress uniform, and then they have their utility uniform, right? So
and then you have one where you're actually putting all the ranks, and you know whatever is happening within that style. I mean, you get people that are getting different patches on the shoulder. You got different patches on the chest. You got a federation in the back, you know, so you get a different type. Depends who's, I guess, different. What is it, like different sponsorships or different federations? You know,
well, maybe my teacher just wanted me to buy a lot of uniforms because you got to a certain level where he expected his advanced students to wear it all the time.
Right,
so,
because
so that's where I ended up training in it all.
I think you're becoming a little bit more advanced student. I think you should have a nice uniform. You know what I mean? I think so. I mean,
and the other one for getting dirty.
You want the new students to come in and then they look at your uniform and then you're in a higher rank. I mean, they want to get to a position where you're at. You know, I remember when I started, I remember my class was like maybe 50 or 60 students my teacher had. So when I started, I was like the guy in the back, you know? And then I saw everybody, it was like, you saw yellow, purple, green, blue, brown, red. You saw all this lineup, right? There was no black belts yet. And I was like, man. But then, but that teacher was tough. Exactly what you just said. You didn't bring your uniform, you wouldn't take class.
Yeah,
it didn't matter. Yeah, you didn't matter. It's like, and they would tell your parents too. It's like, you gotta bring your uniform. He doesn't bring your uniforms. He forgets his belt. He's not taking class. You know, you have to deal with it. It creates discipline. You know, but now it's like, now the teachers now it's like, I don't know. Some of them are too light now. You know, the kids come in, they're not bringing their bells. Like, they make them do a couple push-ups, then back in. So you know what? I like to create tough students, in my, what I think,
Like old school mentality, you like it's not the number of how many students, but the quality of students.
Yeah,
right?
The quality. That's what I'm telling you. By the time that I got to the front, all the people that were in the front, they had quit. Yeah. That's how tough the teacher was. It was that bad, and you know Randy, Steve,
Oh yeah, I know your teacher.
Crazy. Yeah, I could never be like him, I'm too nice, but he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He doesn't care if he. Did you ever see that? There was a movie out about a musician that's teaching this drummer. It won some awards. Ah man, I forgot. Whiplash. Okay, like that. Okay, my teacher was like Whiplash. That guy. You gotta watch it, Jose. If you ever
but your students, his students were good. You guys, I mean, I remembered like the kids, like he had to like warn everybody. He's gonna yell at them.
They were in fear.
Yeah, but you can't argue with the results.
No, you're like. You're watching behind your back as your teacher. But
you can't coddle them. They run all over you.
Let's talk about that student that comes in with like that dirty uniform.
Or all wrinkled, right? It's all wrinkled, like you just threw it in there and then like.
No, not that one.
You have to wash it after every class.
We get those. I'm talking about that student that's already a higher belt but he doesn't wash his uniform. And when you start practicing, 15 minutes later, it's like, man, it smells like mold over here.
Yeah,
Can't do that. I can't have a student like that, especially right now.
That's kind of unacceptable.
Yeah, especially right now with what's going on with the COVID. Come on, you gotta have
wash your
clean,
stuff.
clean, you know.
Yeah, it's got to be clean.
Yeah.
Right, but you always get that. I remember going to class, and I knew there was always one guy, that didn't wash.
There's always the stinky guy.
Yeah, there's always a stinky guy.
Do you guys train with the masks on?
Come on, master, you need to help this guy out. Let him clean
So we are training with the masks on, like at Muay Thai America when we do kickboxing because of the orders. If you can't hit, I think there's different phases, right? So in order to hit pads, you have to wear masks, and we're doing it outside. So a lot of equipment was taken outside. As far as my Kajukenbo program, like I said, right now we're doing Zoom, and then when I see them at the park, I wear like a face shield to keep them, protected. But they're kids, and they want to just go out there too. But it's up to them, really. And their parents, they're cool with it or they're not. You know what I'm saying? If they're not, then it's okay.
Yeah. Well, maybe if you make that, like, you decorate it so it's like put your logo on it, so it's like part of the uniform.
They have some that
they'll have a little more pride and want to wear the mask.
Right.
How are the Zoom classes going along? I see a lot of teachers adapting to technology, be able to do that.
Yeah, that actually, I was a little taken aback because I had never done Zoom. I'm not very much of a tech guy, and but you have to evolve. Just like in martial art, you have to evolve your game. Same thing, you have to evolve your teaching method. Right. And I got a lot of good feedback though. I got a lot of good feedback from the parents. They were like, really, that's what kept them going. That's what helped them out. In fact, when the lockdowns the first time stopped and they came back to class physically, their technique got a lot better, and I was very surprised. But because they were training so hard, because it's all technique now, they really have to follow through with paying a lot of attention.
Right.
And so it benefited in a way. But now that we're doing it again, it's like now that they got a taste of coming back, they don't want to get locked up again either,
Was there any challenges, for example, let's say teaching certain, styles within?
Well, like I can't do much of the grappling, because they can't, So it's a lot of basics again, a lot of basic kicks, a lot of basic combos, a lot of them, especially for the students that don't have a partner to work with, So I try to slow it down as much as I can. Luckily, my daughter helps me with my classes. She's my uke, so she'll be like my partner, and they follow her, and it's good. So we're doing the best we can right now.
Right.
Hopefully they just stay with it. I didn't. My retention was good. The retention rate of students, most of them stayed on. Maybe one or two I lost, but other than that, no, it's been difficult. But you have to keep going. You cannot stop. You have to keep going, especially when you love martial arts. What you can do, stop.
Yeah, and that's one other thing I was gonna talk about. It's I know that a lot of teachers, right now, some of them are struggling. I mean, I know some that are struggling. I know some schools that are probably in the verge of closing. And
I know three that closed. Already. And
that's what I'm telling you. They had to, and I don't. Yeah, you don't even know if they're coming back. And it's sort of defeating in a way, for people that have been in business for a long time. But it's I think it's an opportunity. I would say, once this is over, or being able to build the way technology is set up right now, to be able to even have more students, maybe online, maybe now you're able to be able to teach not just here, locally, but now you could probably get students across, across different countries.
In fact, I know a couple instructors who have students like in different states, and they take their classes. So that's great. It's good, depending how much energy, again, you put into it. Just like teaching physically, you got to put in a lot of effort teaching now through Zoom or through any tech,
especially if that's your main income. If that's your main income, then you have to get creative.
You got to figure out a way to leverage the technology.
Right, because I mean, it's tough. I mean, I'll tell you, being a teacher is tough. So how do you rank your students? Do you use patches or just the belt system? Or?
Well, my students, like you said, they start out with a plain uniform, and then they earn their patches as we go along. And the patches have significance. They have our crest, what it means, the founder, which is Adrian Emperado. Sorry, AD and Parado. And then we have, they earn their belts as they go with time and the skill level. So with that, then they earn the next rank and the next rank. And they put in a lot of time because our to get to black belt in our system takes a very long time. You know, it's about like that. It's not going to change as far as the quality of black belt that we get out of the school. It has to be good. Because for black belt, usually I'm not the only one testing them. Other schools will test them. Like I'm sure you did with their Hapkido. Other masters come down and they test their students, or they'll test you, you know. So that's done with us.
Well, they have to earn, you know, they have to earn a position. And I was talking to this about Steve, is that you start putting all these good goodies, you know, in a bag. You know, every time that these kids surpass something, or they beat a challenge or whatever it is, or, you know, whatever is going on, you know, when they're going through something negative in their life or something happens, then they always have something in their bag that can say, hey, you know what, I beat this, or I earned this, you know. So they're always able to take that, you know, be able to use those wins to cancel out a loss. You know what I mean? And that's important for kids to understand, or any student to understand, that you know, they're able to succeed within martial arts. And you know this, Jose, you know that there's a lot of motivators out there, and that people that use martial art concepts in what they're doing to be able to change people's perception.
Yeah, they're a big influence on their students, you know, and that's what we are too. We're teachers, motivators, and sometimes we're their support, you know, for things that going sometimes outside of the dojo. You know, they look towards what we taught them to conquer whatever they're going through. You know, they used it many times. They said, Sigung, you know what, the other day what you taught me helped me persevere when I was, you know, I took up this challenge. And the same discipline that I do in the dojo, I applied it towards this challenge, and I got it, you know. So that's what martial arts is about. It's about really about learning how to carry yourself in life, you know, not just hitting and competing, but also how to give you that inner strength that you need to carry on, especially right now in these times.
Right. Keeping that that mindset and be able to be tough in these times. It's important. Even with my girls, I mean, like sometimes my daughter, you know, I get her to start working out, you know, and then you see her sweating and almost fainting. But I'm like, yeah, it's gonna make you tougher. Don't worry, it's gonna make you tougher. You know,
tough love.
yeah. You know, but you know, of course, I'm never gonna make him, you know, go compete. I competed. I used to go and spar and did all that stuff. But I don't need to have my kids do that unless they want to.
Right.
You know, there's kids that do like that. You know, like that's like, hey, I want to compete. I want to, you know, I want to see where I'm at. I think that's what it is, you know. Yeah. And I remember when I started competing, nobody was competing. I was like, you know, I want to go see. I want to go see how, you know, how I'm built. I want to see if I'm able to take somebody else, because you get lazy when you start practicing just with your same students. You get lazy.
Yeah.
But you go and you go to another school. It's like, you know, now you know what you know you're made of now. You know, yeah. So and then you get out of it. Huh?
You get comfortable.
Yeah, you get comfortable. But when you come out, it's like, man, okay, I got to work on this. I got to do this. I got to do that. You know, and then you back, and then you're back on the drawing board again. You know, that's what you get in that art. And I think that there's a lot of martial artists out there that get too comfortable, too lazy, and then they never go past what they just, you know, learned. Yeah. And when they go to actually you know, put it to the test, or something happens, and you know the practice is not there because they're not practicing, you know, the way it should be.
They usually buy the nicest uniforms.
Yeah. They usually want to look the best in the uniform.
You know what? I've been to events that, you know, that I know, at least for me, you know, I like to stay a little bit, you know, down to earth. I want to, you know, when I go and teach, I try to, you know, I don't try to show off my, you know, my exterior uniforms. I usually never, Steve probably knows, I never like to wear like the traditional, you know, white and black, you know, like the black belt, you know, I never liked it. I'd rather be with a shirt. I'd rather be, you know, just practicing, you know.
Yeah. Practicing street clothes.
Yeah. But then you see a lot of people wearing their uniforms. You know, I seen guys with, you know, gold belts, you know, 20,000 patches and stuff.
Yeah.
just sitting down, not doing nothing. I was, okay, fine. I guess if you're in martial arts to look good, then great. I guess that's fine. But I think it has to do more than that. And when you're practicing martial art, it kicks your ass. It wants to make you better. If you're that type of person, your mentality's there. Martial arts is gonna make you want to get better.
Plus, it's good to train in street clothes sometimes, because that's what you're gonna be in when the crowd comes down on the street in real fighting. It could be restrictive.
The whole concept of the gi really was to say the jiu-jitsu gi or the karate gi, right? It's to represent a jacket. If you're caught and you're wearing a sports coat and someone grabs you by it or something like that, you have to be able to work through this. That's why when you were hot in here, deal with it, because you're going to be uncomfortable with, say, your normal clothes and you're in a fight. That's the whole concept of also wearing that heavy gi, is to make you tougher. So when you're wearing the normal stuff, you should be pretty comfortable doing it.
It's like nothing. You're practicing Muay Thai, and let's say Jose is kicking that bag every day. Every day he's kicking that bag. Somebody tries to attack him, he kicks a guy on the leg. That guy's gonna go down to the floor, because he's not used to it. They're not used to it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But since you're practicing all the time, it's like, oh well, it's this is like normal to me. I remember when the first time I got into a street fight, knowing martial arts, it was like, wow, it kind of opened my eyes, because I remember fighting against 3 guys trying to jump me. And I was actually really good. I was like, man, I'm really good, But it's because they didn't have anything. They didn't have no skills and have nothing, And I knew a little bit of martial arts, so it helped me out to be able to walk out of there safe,
But I'm sure you were training your butt off too, because the way you train is the way you're gonna perform.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, my teacher's crazy, man. My teacher's crazy. And, there's Muay Thai teachers that are crazy too. Everything. There's some teachers that really go overboard. But anyway, but it's just to make you tougher. That's all it is. Make you better. Well, anyway, guys, I want to thank for watching this show. I want to thank Jose for being here with us. I know he's been teaching for a very long time, and he's also competing, so he's putting himself to the test all the time too. I've noticed that.
I still do some PKBs, once in a while.
Yeah.
Once in a while.
But it's good. It's good. It's good to that's the thing. A fighter always wants to go and fight. That's what it is. You get that feeling. It's like you want to be able to get that adrenaline rush again.
It is a rush afterwards when you're like, wow, this guy really tested me today. It's like, wow, it feels good.
Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, where can they find you, Jose?
You can look us up. The club is called Eagle Rock Kajukenbo, and we're out of a gym now that's called Counterbalance Gym in Eagle Rock. Just look it there. Look it up on online, Counterbalance Gym, and you'll find my program there, Eagle Rock Kajukenbo.
Okay, where can I find you, Steve?
Likewater Productions on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Okay, guys, you can find me at LAMArtialArt@gmail.com, or you can find me on Instagram, LAMArtialArt. Thank you so much for watching. And keep kicking, guys. Keep practicing. See you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Gio. See you guys.
Take care, guys.